This next tune we're going to look at is called Colorado Girl by Townes Van Zandt. And the arrangement I'm going to do is closer to Steve Earle's. And what I've done with the guitar is I've tuned it to an open tuning, commonly referred to as dad fad or open D. So from low to high you have D, so I tune the E down a step to D, A, that stays the same, D, that stays the same, F sharp, down a half step from G, A, down a step from B, and then finally D, down a step from E. So D, A, D, F sharp, A, D is the tuning. And what I've done is I've capoed the second fret. So now, technically, we're in E. I'm going to play through this thing and then we'll break down each section. Alright, here we go. 3, 4. Well, I'm going out to Denver, see if I can find. Yeah, I'm going out to Denver, see if I can find that loving Colorado girl of mine. Well, promise in a smile, shame's a mountains tall. Yeah, the promise in a smile, shame's a mountains tall. She could bring the sun to shine into the rains to fall. A long time, Mom, since I heard you call my name. Been a long time, since I heard you call my name. Got to see my Colorado girl again. Well, I'll be there tomorrow, Mom. Now don't you cry. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, Mama, don't you cry. Gonna tell these lonesome Texas blues goodbye. Alright, let's break this down. The picking pattern is the same throughout the whole tune, so it makes it kind of easy. And the open tuning makes it sound kind of different and more ambient, which is kind of a cool thing that open tunings do. My finger picking pattern is this, and with no chord I'm pinching the E and the B string. So since they're tuned down all same as numbers, the 6th string and the 2nd string, I pinch both of those with my thumb and my middle, and I'm only going to be using these 3 fingers for the pattern. So I pinch, then thumb alternates to D, then my first finger on the G. So that's the first half. Pinch, thumb 1, pinch, thumb 1. Then I alternate and I go thumb to thumb. That's the second half, thumb to thumb of that pattern. So I've got pinch, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb. Pinch, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb. Now as far as the progression goes in this tune, it's the same progression. It's kind of like a blues. So I start out with this open D, and I'm not putting any chords down, right, with my left hand. I'm just keeping it open. It's actually an open E because of the capo, but either way. So I pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. That's my first measure. 1 and a 2 E and 3 and a 4 E, and that's how I count it. Then I've got our G chord, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a D chord like I normally would in front of a capo, but move it down a half step and not include my middle finger. That's going to be my G chord. And when I play this, I'm going to use the same picking pattern. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. So here's my first two measures so far, real slow. 3, 4. G chord. Now I do a split measure of a D, back to G. This next measure, I take off my third finger and do one pattern, pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb, and then everything open, pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. All right, so here's those last two measures from the split measure D to G to the split measure G to D. So it sounds like this, 3, 4. Then I go to a G chord and I just strum on it for 2 whole measures, kind of a long time. 3 and a 4 E and 1 and a 2 E and 3 and a 4 E and back to open to G, and same thing, let go of my third finger, then open. Alright, so that's the first 8 bars of the progression. For the last 8, I move this G shape that we're using, really a D shape, and I move it up a step. And that's going to be my A chord for this song. And I'm going to do the same thing. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. Back to my G chord. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. Pinch, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb. I'm going to do the same thing. I've been doing the same theme. Open, the G chord, then just one finger, then everything open. Okay, I'm going to run through that whole progression of the tune real slow. 1 and 2 E and 3 and a 4 E, and I got my D chord. And here's my G. Finger to open, then in my G chord 2 measures, 3 and a 4 E and 1 and a 2 E and 3 and to open to G, 1 finger, back to open. Now here's A. G to open to G, 1 finger to open. Great. Now, in order to break up some of the parts and to add in a new section, what I was doing was I was going up to the A chord, just doing a measure of it, then a measure of G, and then the same theme. So I was kind of using that as an interlude, basically the last 4 bars of the progression, as just a quick interlude between verse 2 and verse 3. And also you can use that as an outro. For the intro, I was just doing that theme. Okay, so those are the that's how you play Colorado Girl.